Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be using Scrapbook.com's Scalloped Flower die set. Here's a look at the new Scalloped Flower die set from Scrapbook.com. If you flip over the set, you can see a sample of what the final product could look like. In my video today, I'll also be using Scrapbook.com's Berry Sweet pattern paper. It's available in both 6x8 and A2 sizes. I also have the Marcotte Bloom floral dies, Hello Sunshine word dies, the Wavy Circle dies, and I'll also be using the Holographic Mirror paper. I have two cards to share, and both of them will feature the new Scalloped Flower die set. I selected two pattern papers from the Berry Sweet collection. I have the black and white polka dot for the background and the pink and white gingham for the smaller piece. I'm layering both of them on some black cardstock. The pink gingham piece is 4 inches by 4 inches. The black and white polka dot piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And for the black cardstock layer, I added an additional 1/8 of an inch. I'll put adhesive on the back, add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. And the adhesive I'm using is Scrapbook.com's Deluxe adhesive roller. When I attached the pink and white gingham panel, I left more of the black and white polka dot pattern paper showing at the top of the card versus the bottom of the card. I've already gone ahead and die cut out all of the pieces I need for the card, and I'm keeping everything organized in a couple of Scrapbook.com's stack and sort trays. I cut out 2 of the pink flowers, and the pink paper is actually the back side of some of the pattern paper in the Berry Sweet collection. For the scalloped flower, I used some Vellum from Scrapbook.com. I'll adhere the pink flower on the Vellum background using Scrapbook.com's Artis glue. And I have the ultra fine tip on my glue bottle. Next, I'll put glue in the center of one of the flowers and adhere the 2 layers together. For the very center piece of the flower, I used some white glitter paper from Lawn Fawn. And the light pink circle center piece is from more pattern paper. I'm showing you that piece where I cut out the 2 darker pink flowers, flipped over the piece, used the small circle die from the Scalloped Flower set, and cut out that small circle. Now I'll flip over the flower, and I will be popping it up with some foam dimension. I'm using Scrapbook.com's large rounds foam dimension. This is the 1 millimeter thickness, so it'll add just that little bit of dimension. I'm only putting the foam behind the back layer of the flower. That way I can curl up the petals on the top layer of the flower for some extra dimension. I'll remove the release paper, add the flower more toward the top of the card. Now I'll start adding leaves and foliage pieces. For the green leaves, this is pattern paper from the Berry Sweet collection. I'm cutting off the very bottom area of the leaves since I'll be tucking it underneath the pink flower. And that portion won't be visible, so no one will know I cut off that area. I'll put 2 leaves on the left side and 1 leaf on the right side. If you're looking for a great floral die set, Scrapbook.com has several. I'm using the Marcotte Bloom florals, but there's also a Sunny Lane floral set, and you could mix and match the different pieces. Now I'll add 4 of the foliage pieces, and I cut these out from the Holographic Mirror paper pad, so they're super sparkly. I am tearing off the very bottom area of the foliage pieces since they will be tucked underneath the flower, and I don't want them going off the edge of the card. I'll add 2 of the foliage pieces on the left side and 2 on the right side. You could also add the foliage and leaf pieces down first, then add the flower, but I like to add the flower first and then tuck in the foliage pieces. For a sentiment, I'll be adding the word hello. I cut out the letters from black cardstock and the outline piece from some white pearlescent cardstock. The outline piece has Hello Sunshine, but I only want the word hello, so I simply used my scissors and trimmed off the bottom outline area for sunshine. Since it's basically a straight cut, this is really easy to do. Now I'll add all of the individual letters for hello, and these line up easily. I am using a pair of reverse tweezers, putting Artis glue on the back. I'll start with the letter H and adhere each of the letters down. So there's my sentiment hello. I love the look of the pearlescent cardstock as the outline. I will be popping up the sentiment. This time I'm using the small foam squares. These are also the 1mm thickness. I love that Scrapbook.com now has a wide variety of different foam shapes and thicknesses. The 1mm is definitely my favorite. But if you like a lot of dimension on your cards, they also have 2mm and 3mm foam. Once I have good coverage of foam on the back side, I'll remove the release paper and adhere the word hello underneath my pink flower. Part of the foliage piece on the right side will sit slightly in front of the O of hello. So there is my finished card, and I did make two using this design. I love this flower in pink. I think it looks so pretty. Now moving on to card design number 2. I'm using the same Berry Sweet paper pad. The background of my card is white with green, red, and pink polka dots, and I'll be layering it on some red pattern paper. And this red is the backside of one of the patterns in the collection. I love that they include a few solids in there. I'll put adhesive on the back using the Deluxe adhesive roller, and I'll put my card front onto a card base. Using the Wavy Circle dies, the larger size, I've already gone ahead and cut out some pieces from 2 different pattern papers. I used the solid green pattern paper and also the green and white plaid paper. The die cuts out a circle frame, and I'm gluing the 2 pieces together, and this will add just that little extra dimension. I'll put glue on the back and adhere it on my card more toward the top. Want to make sure to leave enough room at the bottom for a sentiment. The Wavy Circle die cuts out 5 different pieces for the background, and I'll be alternating the 2 patterns. I'm starting with the green and white plaid at the top. I was trying to decide if the top and bottom wavy pieces were different or the same, so I'm holding them up together and they're the exact same size. I'll start by adhering the small wavy piece at the top of the circle. Then I'll add the solid green piece underneath. And I'm making sure the 2 pieces are flush against each other. That way all of the pieces will inlay inside the circle frame. And I'm adhering all of the die cut pieces down using Artis glue. That way there's that little bit of wiggle room. And I think the glue is easier to work with the die cut pieces versus a tape runner. The Wavy Circle die is such a fun design. You could use a variety of different cardstock colors, different pattern paper pieces, so many different options to create a wavy circle window. And this set also has a smaller circle. Once I've inlaid all of the wavy pieces in my circle, I'll start working on the flower. This card will feature a white flower, and I did cut this out from white pearlescent cardstock. And again, I'm using the vellum for that scallop layer piece. I love the look of the vellum scallop layer. I'll put Artis glue on the back, layer the 2 pieces together. Then I'll put a little bit of glue behind the top layer of the flower, adhere the 2 layers together. Now I will change my mind about this in a minute, but for now that's what I'm doing. For the center of the flower, I'm only adding the circle piece, and I cut this out from the bright pink solid pattern paper. For this card, I'm adding the entire Hello Sunshine sentiment. I use white cardstock for the outline, and the same red cardstock I use for the background, I'm using for the words. The word sunshine is 1 piece other than the dot for the eye. I'll adhere that down first. Next, I'll add the letters for the word hello. The red really pops against the white outline piece. I have just a couple more letters to adhere for the word hello. Then the final step is dotting the I for the word sunshine. This is a very tiny piece, so I'm using Scrapbook.com's brand new Craft Pick Pro tool. There are 4 different ends. I'm using the wax tip, which is perfect for picking up those teeny tiny pieces. I also use the piercing tool to lightly press the dot of the I down. Since part of the sentiment will be sitting on the circle, I did cut out another outline piece, but I didn't cut the very top portion, and I'll glue that on the back side, and this will help keep the sentiment at the same level. Here's where I decided to pull apart the 2 layers of my white flower. I want to pop up the top layer using more of the foam. Luckily, I was able to separate it. It did tear the paper slightly, but none of that will be visible. Now I'll add some of the large round foam dimension on the back side. And I'm adding foam dimension on the back of both of the flower layers. Remove the release paper and adhere my white flower on the wavy circle die cut area. Then I can add the Hello Sunshine underneath, and I will be popping it up using more of the small square foam. This is also the 1 millimeter thickness. The foam is also available in 1/8 inch strips, and it probably would have been quicker to use that instead of the small squares, but these were closer to me, so that's what I grabbed. I'll make sure to get good coverage, remove the release paper, and adhere my sentiment underneath my beautiful white flower. I love how the sentiment really pops against the background. I have a small piece of the red solid pattern paper, and I'll be cutting it into a banner. I'll first cut a fishtail on the bottom, then I'll cut the right side in slightly at an angle, flip it over, and do the same thing on the other side. Then I'll put Artis glue on the back and adhere it in the upper right-hand corner. For a final finishing touch, I'll add a little bit of sparkle to the center of the flower using a clear glitter brush marker. So there is my finished card, and again, I did make 2 using this design. I think the cards are both so bright and cheerful. Now here's another look at the 4 cards I made using the new Scalloped Flower die set from Scrapbook.com, along with some other fun products. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links in the description box below. If you enjoyed my video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.